6 most disturbing things caught on police body cam.
On December 25th, 2020, a 63-year-old man named Anthony Quinn Warner drove his RV to Nashville, Tennessee's 2nd Avenue and woke up nearby residents with the sound of a robotic digital female voice coming from his RV, warning everyone around the vehicle to evacuate the area.
That deadass looks straight out of Breaking Bad. Whenever I see one of those whenever I see an RV like this, I immediately assume whoever has this RV cooks meth. And it's never, bro, you never see one of these RVs. You never see one of these RVs in a regular place. They're always in like they're in like the back of a parking lot. They're parked like 80 spots away from the mall or in like a very wooded area in somebody's backyard. I'm not fucking evacuating. I see some dude in a fucking Breaking Bad meth van playing some ice cream truck AI voice. You need to evacuate now. No.
Soon the female
run outside, he's gonna kill you.
Voice repeatedly mentioned that the RV was going to detonate, and a little after 6 a.m. the voice became more and more insistent, announcing that the vehicle would detonate in 15 minutes. In the body cam footage that was later released by the authorities, a group of Nashville police officers can be seen walking around the downtown area, urging any stragglers to evacuate for their own safety.
So you're not doing anything wrong.
Would the van blowing up hurt you inside of a building? If I'm on like the 7th floor of an apartment building and there's just an RV on the road, like you're not gonna, if it gets close, yeah, maybe if it's jammed with TNT. How many bombs does he have in here? I gotta scan this video.
Okay, you're not in trouble, but there is something serious happening down the road.
Go for 11.
Okay. Do you mind going down to 2nd and
Where do they need to go when they are evacuated?
That's so weird. That's like something out of a movie.
Like The Purge?
Yeah.
And he's gonna walk up to the van? He has a gun? Bro, that ain't helping him if there's a bomb in the car. Yeah, oh, I got my gun on me. I'll be good. Yeah, when you knock on the fucking door, it blows up. Shoot the explosion. Yeah, that'll disarm it.
The robotic voice and its ominous warnings give the whole scene an extremely eerie vibe, like as the police officer mentioned, something out of the movie The Purge. Strangely, the RV also brought...
This ain't like The Purge. I mean, maybe the voice. Like the... Yo, chat, you think you survived The Purge? Bro, that shit, it's such a stupid premise for a movie. It's like a fun series to watch. You know what you do? Leave the country. Leave the country or go dig a hole in the woods. Sit in it for like 12 hours. Because if you can't leave the country... Yeah, go in the ocean. Get on a boat. Go in international waters. Sit 10 miles out. 20 miles out for fucking 12 hours on a fucking kayak. Come back in. Pirates, dude? Are we in Somalia? What do you mean pirates? You're off the coast of fucking Massachusetts? You think there's going to be some dude that's racist? That's literally not racist. The biggest pirated area is that path where shipping containers come through. It's like a historical fact. That's not racist at all.
Unfortunately, the robotic voice wasn't bluffing, and just 15 minutes later, the RV detonated near the AT&T building, causing damage to more than 50 buildings and even collapsing a few of them with its massive blast radius. In the aftermath,
it collapsed multiple buildings? Was there a guy in the van?
Of the incident, the cops can be seen assessing the damage and moving nearby pedestrians to safety through body cam footage that can only be described as apocalyptic.
Second Broad, Commander 425, are you 10-4?
He's in 4. Are you guys okay?
Yeah.
No, my guys.
Where's your car?
How you doing?
Okay, go to your car.
What's going on?
Okay.
Why was he carrying?
Command, make sure all units are direct. There may be ammo in that vehicle. We don't need anybody coming up the 2nd Avenue exposed.
You okay? Yeah, I'm good, man. I appreciate it.
Even though the explosive inside the RV was extremely powerful, the cops managed to evacuate most of the nearby residents, and thankfully nobody outside the RV lost their lives. Although 3 people were injured and had to be hospitalized after the vehicle incident, the only person...
You think those people were inside or outside? I wonder how many explosives he had in that car. For it to collapse a building, unless you, like, drove it straight into one and blew it up, for that blast radius to just fucking literally detonate an entire building, where do you even get that level of explosives? That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're this guy and you're a fucking terrorist and you want to blow up some shit, how the hell are you even obtaining that level of explosive material
who lost
outside of just having, like, a bunch of gas?
Life was Anthony Warner himself, who was still inside the vehicle at the time of the detonation. After the incident, the authorities started digging deep into Anthony's past to figure out what could have caused him to do something so insane, and what they found was pretty disturbing. As it turned out, Warner was pretty much a paranoid loner obsessed with conspiracy theories about shape-shifting alien lizards that were trying to take over the world.
What? Oh, like lizard people in the government. What the fuck does that have to do with him blowing himself up on a random street in a city?
It was also revealed that 16 months before the explosion, Warner's girlfriend had called the cops to report that Anthony had been building explosives inside the RV outside their home. Even more
bro, every time you see one of these RVs, this is the exact setup of this shit. Some old ass wooden fence and it's just parked there. It never moves. It's just there. Why do you have that van?
Disturbingly, less than a week before Christmas, Warner's neighbor had reportedly asked him if Santa was going to bring him anything good for Christmas, to which Warner replied, "Oh yeah, Nashville and the world are never going to forget me." But despite
literally nobody got injured. I think literally a week later, everybody was like, well, that was weird.
Despite the clear desire for attention, the cops never managed to truly figure out Warner's motive, and it was eventually...
What is with that shit? Like somebody, bro, motherfuckers, it's the same things. Like any obsession with being remembered is always weird to me, but especially people that have the obsession of being remembered for like killing people and shootings and stuff. Buddy, you're going to be forgotten either way. You're just doing some actual evil shit prior. You're going to go to jail for the rest of your life or die. And then everybody's going to forget you anyway. You could do something monumental and memorable, good or bad. Everyone on this planet, all 8 billion people are going to be dead in 100 years. And you're forgotten. Even if you're in a history book, you're forgotten.
He concluded that he probably didn't want to hurt anyone, and that a fatal cancer diagnosis mixed with other factors had contributed to Warner's declining mental health. On March 9th, 2023, at around 12:30 p.m., an anonymous caller dialed 911 and told dispatchers that a man that had just run into a food market avenue was claiming that he had just been kidnapped. As soon as police arrived, they were able to talk to the alleged victim, and the jarring conversation was captured on one of the cops' body cams.
I went over there to fix his busted pipe for his washing machine.
Okay.
And I was putting a water line for his ice and for his refrigerator. And when I got downstairs, another dude came out.
My God, he actually has zip ties on his hands.
They had guns on me and they robbed me. I mean, they tied me up. They had plastic laying on the ground.
Disturbingly, the zip ties and duct tape that were used in the kidnapping can still be seen on the man's body as he explains what happened to him. As the victim mentions to the cops, the perpetrators forced him into his own van, robbed him, and then held him for ransom before he managed to escape.
So they put this on my face, they get me in my van, and they bring me over here. They turn the location up on my phone. One of the guys is in back with me. And
which way did the car go?
Huh?
Where the car go?
It was parked this way, and I ran all the way down here to here. We were parked right over there.
You're parked at 49? What kind of car was it?
It's my van.
As the cops later found out...
Yo, off topic. I mean, kind of related. But I always talk about how I see fucking death videos on Twitter, and I think that's a problem. But they always show up, and, you know, sometimes I'm going to watch them. 90% of them are always, like, somebody going into a store and pointing a gun at someone and then getting laid the fuck out. Like, I'm talking get shot 12 times in the fucking chest, and they get murdered, right? And most of the comments are like, you know, it's like a shitty situation because it's like, we don't know if that guy was a fucking terrible person. Maybe he was just stretched for cash. But at the end of the day, don't point a fucking gun at somebody. But then I see some smooth brain ass comments that are like, they just killed a guy. They just killed a guy. Dude, somebody runs at you with a gun, regardless of whether or not they're saying they're going to kill you. They're asking for money or not. Somebody points a gun at your face. You have the right to fucking shoot them in the face, right? They're dead, and that's not on you, right? Like, I remember there was one video I saw where they robbed this old-ass man. He had to be 85. They run up. They literally, it was like he was just sitting in his parked car on the side of the street, and they run up to him with another car. The guy in the back seat, not the driver, jumps out of the car, points a gun at him through the glass. Old man opens the door, puts 7 bullets into this guy's fucking head. And the fucking getaway driver just fucking flies off. I'm just sitting there wondering what that getaway driver's thinking. Like, oh my God, like they just thought it was going to be some easy-ass robbery on some old guy, and then he just got murdered. Like, your boy just got fucking tapped. Like, that's so... I don't know. It's like, it's shitty when I see that because I'm like, I don't know what situations these people are in that's basically prompting them to, like, try and harm other people for cash. But it's still just like, damn, dude. And I'm always sitting here, and we talk about, you know, not getting political. We talk about... you know, gun violence and gun issues on stream all the time. I think nobody should own, you know, an assault rifle. I think if you want to use a fucking AR or some crazy-ass gun, an LMG, go to a fucking shooting range. But, like, situations like that, it's like they could have killed that old man, and he would have surely gotten murdered if he didn't do anything. And not, like, that's not me trying to have, like, some stupid-ass take. Like, I just don't know. I think the gun issue is a very complex one. And there's certain situations and instances where it's like, okay, that person shouldn't have had a gun. But then there's others where it's like, well, it was good he did, right? And it's hard to have a genuine takeaway on what to do.
The main perpetrator was 51-year-old Ahmed Johnson, whom the victim had been in federal prison with at some point in his life.
Wow.
After digging deeper into the case, they uncovered the whole story of the kidnapping. As the victim mentioned in the video, the kidnapper had hired him for a plumbing job, and when he arrived at the house in Cleveland's Buckeye Woodhill neighborhood, he was led downstairs where he would allegedly be shown the leaky pipe that he had to fix. Once downstairs, Ahmed led the victim to another room, where another man jumped out and held him at gunpoint. After stealing his phone and Apple Watch, the kidnappers bound the victim and put him into the back of his own van. As the perpetrators drove the van towards the city's central neighborhood, they made the victim call a friend and bring around $15,000 to a nearby gas station in exchange for his return. But as the van slowed down, the victim somehow managed to jump out and ran down East 49th Street. Thinking quickly, the victim ran into a convenience store where he would be protected by the public eye, causing the suspects to drive off. 2 weeks later, the cops managed to make an arrest, and Ahmed Johnson was charged.
Also, okay, this is another entirely different thing. Number one, that's crazy that they hired this man for a plumbing job. He came in and then they tried to fucking kidnap him. W-mans for fucking getting out of the car and getting away. You know how they'll, like, when you were a kid, they would warn you about, like, people in white vans with guns that were going to kidnap you? And that is a genuine thing that does happen, but, like, you would always get warned about it when you were, like, 5, 6 or some shit. Like, don't talk to strangers, blah, blah, blah. I've always thought in my head, if you're on the side of the road, somebody pulls over and they point a gun at you and they're like, get in the car. Getting in the car is the worst possible thing that you could do. Am I wrong? Because whatever they're going to do to you, they might kill you or they're going to torture you, put you into sex trafficking, something like that. I've always just said, run. If they shoot you, that sucks. Right now you're dead. But more than likely, it's like, if they shoot you, they can't use you for whatever illegal activity they planned on using you for, because now you're dead. So logically, as that guy that wants to kidnap you, it makes no sense for him to shoot you. I'd rather just die than get tortured. That's what I'm saying. Somebody pulls you over in a van, they're like, get in the car. Fuck no, I'm running. They shoot me, I'm dead. Okay, whatever. If they shoot me and I die, obviously I'm not going to be able to sit back and ponder on it. But if that was their gut reaction to me running, whatever they were going to do to me in the van would have been way worse than fucking killing me.
On September 9, 2019...
That's why I dodged the bullets. Yeah, General Zod would be doing the crocodile zigzag method.
An Albuquerque Police Department officer saw a young man performing a traffic stop on a gray Nissan SUV. Strangely, the man wasn't dressed like a police officer at all. In fact, he was dressed as an ordinary citizen in jeans, a black polo, and an Air Force cap as he wrote down the driver's information. Sensing that something was off, the officer pulled the man aside to talk to him, and from the beginning, the man seemed a little on edge.
You gotta talk to him for a minute.
I do.
What's going on? Let's just talk back here real quick.
Bro, why do people do that? I always hear stories about people being like fake cops. What the fuck? Just try and be a police officer. What's with acting like a cop? And you gotta be a dumbass. Some dude pulls me over in blue jeans and a fucking polo, and he looks like fucking 18 years old. He's like, you know you were speeding? Why are you in a fucking Nissan Altima? Why'd you just pull me over in a Nissan Altima?
Sensing that something was off, the officer pulled the man aside to talk to him, and from the beginning, the man seemed a little on edge.
You gotta talk to him for a minute.
Me? No. No, the other person.
I do.
What's going on? Let's just talk back here real quick. Who do you work for?
Early time trips off.
Oh, okay.
I know, I'm under-equipped.
Okay, because normally you do, if you're out here, man, if you're making a traffic stop, you're just gonna have to stop, dude. Alright? Do you have an ID with you?
I mean, this is all I got. I mean, like I said, I'm under-equipped. I was just heading over there to the courthouse
It's a courthouse for what?
to get my crap.
Okay.
I know, it makes no sense. I caught him going 120 down I-40.
120? 120 my ass. What? What?
Why do you have lights on this vehicle?
120 in this shitter? I mean, it's a nice car, but it's not a he ain't driving a Mustang. 120? He's driving like a mom van.
Personal? I know.
Do you have an ID with you at all?
No, I keep it on my uniform.
The man claims that he was on his way to the courthouse when he pulled over the driver of the gray Nissan.
I don't even think that, chat, what car is that? I don't even think that car would go 120 kilometers per hour. Bro, there's no way he's saying KPH, bro. That's a Nissan Rogue. Nissan Rogue is max speed, 120. So it was going end of the speedometer. It was in the red, dude. Those RPMs were fucking 6,000. We're pedal to the fucking metal, dude. Just going straight on. Like we're running on a racetrack right now.
The man claims that he was on his way to the courthouse when he pulled over the driver of the gray Nissan. Suspiciously, though, he claims he doesn't have any sort of identification on him because he allegedly left it inside his uniform. After a bit of questioning, the man says his name is Brendan Wazinski and confesses that he was using his personal vehicle to pull over civilians, but insists that he's been an officer of the law for 3 years.
Simple. And I'm not here to mess with you, man. It's just the thing is, yeah, he was speeding, dude. You could have called it in, and because if you get into shooting, you're
Right.
speeding. All right, man.
I understand.
All right.
Aye, aye, sir. Aye, aye, sir. That's his response. Aye, aye, sir.
For starters, I know this looks really bad.
Right.
This looks really bad. This screams whacker.
Right. How long you been on?
About 3 years.
Okay. I've been on for like 13 years. All right, so.
After checking the database, the officer notices Brendan's name doesn't pop up on any nearby law enforcement agency's list, and at that point, his only option is to put the suspect in the back of his vehicle while he waits for his supervisor to figure things out. Less than 5 minutes later, Brendan gets cold feet and confesses that he's not a real cop.
Why is he doing that, though? Like, in your free time, you're just going around fucking fake pulling people over? Did he have lights on his car? Because if somebody tried to pull me over in, like, a random Tesla, how would I even know that he's trying to pull me over? He did have lights? Okay. I was going to say, if I'm not seeing lights, I'm not fucking getting over. I just think you're some dickhead riding my ass. Like, I'd just be like, you're just fucking, why are you so close to me?
What's up, man?
All right. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. I'm not a cop.
Okay.
He's performing a civilian's arrest.
I'm just going to be
That badge from?
I bought it offline.
Okay. Do me a favor, stay in here.
Why not just try to become an officer? Like, I know it's an intensive thing, but if you wanted to be a cop that bad, why not try to become a cop? I would be utterly confused if I was this officer. Why are you doing that?
As soon as his supervisor arrives, the officer briefs him on the situation, and they decide to arrest Brendan for impersonating a police officer. After putting him in cuffs,
All right, I love this video. I wouldn't say this is disturbing. Some guy pretending to be a cop.
sheriff arrives to assess the situation. I honestly don't know how long Brendan was expecting to be able to get away with pulling people over pretending to be a cop, but it seems as though he was hoping to play vigilante with no consequences forever. Even though he didn't.
But what, dude? What does he just let him off every time? What is it? What the fuck? If you're a cop, if you're pretending to be a cop, you can't actually give somebody a fine. You can't arrest them because where are you gonna bring them? So you just go, all right, I'm gonna let you off with a warning every time.
Didn't have a weapon in his belt at the time. It's not uncommon for people like Brendan to start using guns and handcuffs as intimidation tools once they get more comfortable and start thinking they can get away with it. Obviously, it's incredibly dangerous to have random people driving around the city pretending to be cops when they really have nothing to do with law enforcement at all, which is why the officers have no other choice but to bring him into the police station. After arriving at the station, the cops try to get Brendan's full statement, but the suspect contradicts himself a bunch and lies to try to get the officer's sympathy. Brendan says he was on his way to work when he saw a guy going 120 on the freeway and confesses that he freaked out when
You can't go 120. You can't go 120 in that car. That's the max speed. You're not going 120 on a highway in that car. It's impossible.
the cop asked him about his identity. Strangely, he alleges that the badge he used to fake his identity used to belong to his dad, who supposedly used to work with the sheriff's department before he was killed in the line of duty 5 or 6 years prior.
It is possible though on a racetrack, bro. Nah, this is my chat right now trying to be like, dude, my 2005 Nissan Altima. My 2005 Nissan Altima, max speed 120. Brother, you're lucky if you get 105. My first car. Okay, this is me being, I've said this before. This is the dumbest thing I've ever done. I could have died. Not dumbest thing I've ever done, but it was really stupid. I could have died. The first car I ever had was a 2010 Camaro RS, a V6. Max speed, I think, is 120 or around then. I don't know what it is. I went on a back roads and literally floored it for 30 seconds. I went 110. And that shit, scary. Potholes everywhere. Tight road. I was zooming, dude. I remember that was right when I got the car. Like, day I got the car. Had 70,000 miles on it. I was like, I'm going to fucking race this, bitch. And just fucking back roads. So stupid.
And then when I made contact with you, I
You're a dumbass? Oh, I never did it after that. Say allegedly? Oh, allegedly.
noticed you had a badge. Where'd you get that badge from?
It belonged to my dad.
It belongs to your dad? When was
Well, it did.
It did? Is he still around, or did he pass away?
Well, he was killed.
Oh, he was killed, okay.
As it was later revealed, this was a complete lie, and the truth was that he bought the badge online as he had initially confessed when the cop interrogated him. It's hard to imagine that he thought he was going to get away with a lie like that when there was video evidence of him saying that he bought the badge online less than an hour ago. During the interview, it was also revealed that Brendan was only 18 years old, even though he said he was around 25 when the cop initially pulled him over. This makes the fact that he said he was married and needed to call his wife even more sketchy, and it's hard to tell which details of the story are true and which ones are completely made up. A few seconds later, things get a little scary when Brendan confesses that he had a loaded weapon in the glove compartment of the vehicle, which wasn't initially visible in the video. Considering he's a compulsive liar and an irresponsible teenager.
What? He's a teenager. He had a loaded gun in his car and he was pretending to be a cop.
It's pretty horrifying to imagine what he would have done with the handcuffs and gun had he been given the chance to play vigilante for a few more days or weeks or whatever. In March 2020, a judge sentenced Brendan to a year of probation. But just a few weeks later, he failed to report to his probation officer, refused to get a psych exam, provided a false address, and missed a scheduled meeting. As a result, the judge tightened his probation conditions, and as of today, there have been no further updates to the case.
I just never understand. I wish yo, chat, if anybody has a video on like people faking to be cops and like the psychology behind that, it has to be some sort of like power trip.
At around 8 p.m. on September 30th, 2021, 3 children ages 6, 6, and 7 were reported missing in the Flamingo Lake neighborhood in Montgomery, Texas. According to the parents, the kids had gone missing after they went into the Sam Houston forest and wandered off the main trail to go play in a creek. After the disappearance was announced to the public, the authorities launched a massive search that included helicopters, dogs, drones, off-road vehicles, and hundreds of police officers from multiple law enforcement agencies. The next morning, an anonymous Good Samaritan who was very familiar with the layout of the woods decided to take matters into his own hands and went into the national forest by himself to find the kids. At around 9 a.m. on September 31st,
Just trekking on foot? You think you're just gonna find them?
the man found the kids and called 911 to bring the children to safety, and the whole rescue was captured on Sergeant Jason Smith's body cam.
Come on, can y'all come to me? Come to me. Yeah, come to me. There's an opening right here. Come on, kids, come to me.
Oh my God, is that the guy that kidnapped them?
Over here last night, so I just took off around the back. I've been looking all night long.
Yes, sir. I have all
Jesus
three
is good,
children.
ain't he? Ain't Jesus good?
He is good. Kids, I'm the
Oh, well, no, they were both together.
police. Are y'all ready to get out of the woods? Come on,
then.
buddy.
Let's get out of here. You got cheeseburgers in your car?
We're going to get something to eat. Okay? You want to hold my hand? We'll get out of here?
Even though the kids were found just a little over a mile away from where they entered the woods, they'd still been lost for over 24 hours, and pretty understandably they were hungry. As it was later revealed, the kids had spent the night in the forest, sheltering themselves under a fallen tree until the volunteer came to rescue them,
Oh, did they just get lost?
which is why they had leaves and branches in their hair in the footage.
Here, let's pick this. Grab hold of that. There you go.
You're really strong.
Am I really strong?
I don't think
Lose your shoe? I got you.
Dude, getting lost in the woods is genuinely terrifying. When I got bit by that tick that got me alpha gal in Virginia, we got lost when we were hiking. It wasn't that bad because we had a map, but we walked like 4 miles just walking back and forth. And there was like paths and random markers on trees. No idea where we were. I was like, dude, we're going to, I wasn't like, we're going to die out here, but I was like, bro, we're going to be stuck here for like 7 hours.
Even though they had spent the night with minimum shelter and hadn't had anything to eat for 24 hours, the children still seemed to be in pretty good spirits as Sergeant Smith escorted them out of the woods. And toward the end of the video, he can be seen guiding them to the clearing where a bunch of cop cars sit waiting for them.
Thank you, fellas. Y'all got it? Come on, kids. Let's come out to the road. Whoa, good. What?
It's gotta be the worst fucking body cam I've ever seen.
There you go, buddy.
It's honestly pretty terrifying to think that if they hadn't been found then and there, the kids would have probably ended up succumbing to the elements. But
Nah, I don't know. I mean, it's good that they found him there, but they were there for what? How long were they there? A day? They probably wouldn't have died. I think it would have been in like if I was a parent of the kids and they went missing and I was like, I know they didn't get kidnapped, they're just lost in the woods. Maybe like 5 days, 4 or 5 days.
On January 30th, 2017, New Mexico police received a disturbing call from a witness in Nevada who claimed he had seen a woman being taken out of her Las Vegas apartment by a man and put into a white van with a Texas license plate. After receiving the alert, the cops were able to locate the van in question less than 24 hours later and arrest the driver and passenger.
Passenger!
Once the suspects are out of the vehicle, the cops approach the white van, and that's when they find something incredibly disturbing.
Oh.
Put a camera on this thing. Got a camera. You need a...
Oh my God, thank you.
Okay. Got it? Rolling? Okay, it's rolling. Okay, we're gonna get you out
Oh
of
my
here,
God,
okay?
she's in chains.
I got pictures of her and I got pictures of the chains.
In the back of the vehicle, the cops find a woman named Jane who is chained to the floorboards of the van by the suspects, and as soon as the officers set her free, she gives them her disturbing testimony. According to the victim, the man who was driving the getaway van was her ex-boyfriend Jack, who broke into her apartment and took her. Even though she fought hard to escape, Jack was trained in mixed martial arts and was a lot heavier than her, and it didn't take him long to take her out of her home. Jane assumed
what the fuck was he gonna do with her?
it was her neighbors who saw the altercation and called the police, and it was thanks to that 911 call that the cops were able to rescue her. Once inside the police car, Jack doesn't seem all too distressed that he's about to be put away for a long time, and he can even be seen interacting pretty calmly with the officer driving the vehicle, asking him if he has a favorite hymn and singing the words to Amazing Grace as he's taken to jail.
You got a favorite hymn?
What's that?
You got a favorite hymn?
No, I don't.
Nope. Nope. Give him one-word answers. Nope. Keep driving.
I don't know. I've never been into them. What about you?
What about Amazing Grace? You like that one?
I'll take it.
Amazing Grace, how sweet.
As it was later revealed, Jack's accomplice in the kidnapping was
Motherfucker singing Amazing Grace after he chained his ex-girlfriend to the fucking floorboards of a car.
As it was later revealed, Jack's accomplice in the kidnapping was 19-year-old Samuel
Oh, there was somebody else.
Brown. In the other cop car, Samuel asked the police officer to have a conversation with him, claiming that he's scared of everything that's happening.
Is it okay to talk? Is it okay to talk? Yeah. Anything. I'm just kind of scared. And okay. What are the police gonna ask me?
Probably why there was somebody in the floorboards chained in the back of a van.
During the investigation, the police found that Jack and Samuel had planned to take Jane into a cave in New Mexico that Jack had dug into the side of a hill, where they would later brainwash her into marrying one of them, according to the police report.
What? What? They were gonna brainwash her? That was their plan. They were gonna live in a cave until they convinced her, like Stockholm Syndrome, I'm gonna get you to fucking marry me.
After the horrifying incident, Jack was sentenced to life in prison, and Samuel to a little over 5 years in prison. It's pretty disturbing to imagine where
Yeah, well, I mean, it seems like they kind of brainwashed. It seems like he got them into it. Why only 5? Because he's 19. Because he's 19, he wasn't the one that wanted to do it. It was like being the accomplice. I think it's similar to where you're like, if you're a part of an armed robbery, but you're the driver, you're not going to get as much as the person that did the robbery. You're still a part of it, but not to the degree that the other person is.
It's pretty disturbing to imagine where Jane would be if that 911 call hadn't been placed and the cops hadn't intervened.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy the neighbors saw that.
On April 8 of 2021, police...
Well, I mean, they said it was a big struggle, so I'm assuming it was probably fairly loud in a neighborhood if she was fucking screaming.
Police officers from the city of Whitehall, Ohio, about 6 miles away from Columbus, received a report that
He's 19, he could possibly be manipulated into doing it. Could be wrong. That's what I'm saying.
A man was allegedly impersonating a police officer at a traffic stop. Upon arriving at the scene, they found a 26-year-old man named Casey Donovan Williams asleep in what appeared to be a Whitehall police cruiser. When he woke up, he told the cops that he was an off-duty cop working a special duty detail. At first, the officers bought his story, but when they were told there was no special duty assigned at that time, they returned to get the real story. And the exchange was captured on the cops' body cam.
But you have no ID from them,
no,
all right?
No.
And have you ever been sworn in by them?
I've talked to the chief.
No. I'm asking you a direct question.
Was another person faking to be a cop?
Have you been sworn in by them?
It's very important you answer this correctly, because being a former police officer or someday a current police officer, you know if you lie in this situation, you go directly to jail.
No, I'm not.
So I'm going to put that right
listen,
out.
I'm not.
So if you are telling me you are a police officer right now, is that what you're telling me? So you are not a commissioned police officer.
I have spoke with the chief.
That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you one question. Are you a commissioned police officer through the state of Ohio?
I have an OPUDA certificate.
That's not what I'm asking.
That's not what we're asking you.
I'm explaining to you.
No, you're not. You're not answering the question. You're avoiding the question. It's very simple. Are you a sworn police officer anywhere in the state of Ohio in any department?
Not currently.
Okay.
As soon as the cops start applying a bit of pressure, Casey confesses that he's not an actual commissioned police officer, and when the cops mention to him that he risks going to jail if he lies, he decides to call one of the officers who supposedly gave him the job to try to save himself from the consequences.
Okay. 1 second. Would you be willing to speak to the supervisor from the company?
From
Watchman.
From Watchman?
Yes.
Is he an actual police officer?
You are an actual police officer, correct? Okay. Okay. Yes, he is.
It's just his friend on the fucking mic. Yeah, it's Dave from Cincinnati, calling in to tell you that I am hiring him. He is a trustworthy individual. I think he has some sort of, I don't know why I'm giving him a country accent. They're in Ohio.
It doesn't matter. He's not here doing anything.
Yeah.
I don't care.
First name Dave, last name Blunt.
I don't care if he's the superintendent
Hit song, put down the cup.
of the State Highway Patrol.
Can't put it down.
That's irrelevant to the situation.
Even though he seems to have a pretty intricate series of excuses to justify his actions, the cops sense there's more to the story than Casey's letting on. After mentioning to the cops that he was just trying to make a little extra money by allegedly working for the Glenwood Police Department, he realizes his chances of getting out of an arrest are
Was that KFC?
pretty slim, and that's when he resorts to asking the cops for mercy.
That's all I was trying to do. Please do not. I'm asking you for courtesy, man to man. Please do not ruin my career. Please, please, please.
I think you did that kind of on your own.
Throughout the exchange, it seems as if Casey either doesn't realize the severity of what he's doing, or he really thinks the cops are going to let him get away with showing a fake badge and even carrying a weapon while pretending to be an officer of the law.
Yeah, he had a taser and a gun.
Things were about to get a whole lot worse for Casey, because after he was put in the real police officer's cruiser, the cops searched his vehicle and found a loaded AR-15 rifle, a tactical vest, a loaded handgun with 15 rounds of ammo, a taser, 2 pairs of handcuffs, and pepper spray. It's pretty disturbing to think of what could have happened if the cops hadn't arrested Casey then and there, because even though he didn't seem to have any bad intentions at first glance...
Yeah, it's like, obviously, they have some sort of, like, mentality that they need to be like an upright citizen / fake cop. So I don't think that they're gonna like just start shooting people, but they don't know protocol. They don't know what they're supposed to be doing because they're not a cop. So they might just see somebody like doing something wrong, get in a disgruntled match with them, and then kill them.
And Casey could have used the badge, vehicle, and weapons for some pretty nefarious purposes if he wanted to, by simply convincing people he was a real police officer. From kidnapping to extortion and everything in between, a fake cop can be extremely dangerous. As it was later revealed, this wasn't the first time the suspect had gotten in trouble for trying to pull similar stunts. Although at one point he had been a corrections deputy at the Pickaway County Jail, he was forced to resign after trying to enforce his authority as an undercover cop at a fair when he hadn't been instructed to do so. After the incident in Whitehall, Casey was charged with impersonating a police officer, a third-degree felony, and improper handling of a gun in a motor vehicle, a fourth...
Oh my God. I gotta pass. Count me down.